latest version of my hardware Sega Genesis video game music player. It's based on the Teensy 3.5 microcontroller, and it sends data over to the real YM2612 FM synthesizer chip from Yamaha that was found in the Sega Genesis, as well as the SN76489 programmable sound generator, or PSG. Now with these two chips in tandem, I can actually play both Sega Master System, the old 8-bit video game console from Sega, and Sega Genesis music. The PSG generates simple square wave tones, 3 channels of square waves, and the YM2612 can have 1 channel of PCM audio through its digital to analog converter and 6 channels of FM synth. Now I based this version on the Teensy 3.5 microcontroller because it has so many pins, and because both of these chips use parallel data lines, those pins are awesome. Not only do I have to use 16 pins just for data, but I also have to do control operations too. Even with all that, I still have excess pins for an LCD that shows some information about the songs, and I made a little button controller too. Over here is something that's not normally in the circuit. It's just a level translator, so I can get line level audio so that my computer can record it, but usually you don't have this little extra board here. Now I was originally going to use the ESP32, and this is a pretty cool little chip. Software support is alright on it. It's not quite there, it's still pretty new. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, it didn't quite work. I originally wanted this chip because usually it advertises, I think, like 34 or 32 GPIO, and that's not exactly true. Like an entire port is input only, and some of them are reserved to flash and internal things on the chip that you can't really change, so I had to use shift registers again with this, and that didn't quite work out if you actually saw that last video, the Glitch Fest 9000. So my next resort was to use a Teensy 3.5, and I chose this one because it has 5 volt tolerance on the pins. It is a 3.3 volt chip, but both of these chips have logic levels that are triggered at 1.5 volts, so they don't really care and they work perfectly fine. The reason why I went with the 3.5 is, should I ever want any sort of 5 volt input like SN ready, then I wouldn't have to worry about it, but I'm actually ignoring the ready signal because it just doesn't seem to work that well, so I'm just waiting milliseconds. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and record some real Genesis music off this thing, and it plays at full speed now, no PCM lag, and it's super awesome. Oh, one last thing, SD card support. So that basically means unlimited song storage. Alright, you can pick random songs, you can go forward and back. With the serial console, you can actually you can shuffle songs, you can loop songs, you can pick a random song. You actually request a song, so if you put in the file name, it'll actually go ahead and pull that up and play it for you, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now.